I get it. I knew it. But it's kind of precipitated. All it is Thatcherism. Now the cool people, the achingly hip, who can afford the £300 a weekend retreats, and there'll be £300 a weekend retreats around here. The achingly hip would never lower themselves to saying that Thatcherism is a thing that is anyway valid today. But what is Thatcherism? Let's be crystal clear. I can't remember if it was 20 years ago, 25 years ago, but her son, Mark Thatcher, is middleman in some military coup. I think the story was probably associated with brokers of aircraft that were used in some southern Africa adventure. Let's be crystal clear, that's Thatcherism too. The person with connections and advantage being used by military organisations in countries with very, very plentiful raw materials. What is this? This is Thatcherism writ large. I mean, the it that I get, nobody living here, this whole region, even if they say to me, Britain should be in The Hague, that's why I'm here. They're not gonna be comfortable with me going to the local pub here. They can't listen, of course. All it comes down to is one fundamental thing, one word: insecurity. Because nobody in Britain understands the concept of, if you're going to pair up, work on it hard. Work on it in the real world, which is today and tomorrow. You can't pair up with somebody who you feel... See, if you pair up with somebody, and something I may say is overheard in the real pub, in the local pub, such as, there are more often than not 300 or 400 gram Porsches parked along here, never mind some of these £500,000 boats, etc. They're owned by the Mark Thatchers, the SPIV business class, who, relative to most other countries, are baddies. Yes, we should be in The Hague. Probably Mark Thatcher did things that are even marginally worthy of a visit to The Hague. But you see, you can't say that here. And nobody, even though inside of them they know Britain should be in The Hague for, let's just say, more obvious, real things that we can point the finger. Because they're insecure, because nobody in Britain believes in relationships anymore. Relationships are performed to a certain dance of, well, you don't say that and you will, well, let's not go into that. They don't believe that relationships are earned on values. That one shared core value, one sentence should be enough for a relationship. Now, if you're somebody who lives here, for example, and have opinions of the reality of Britain, this is just Thatcherism. This is just Thatcherism 40 years on. The currency of this place is the entrepreneur with his Porsche, the entrepreneur with his or her £100 million yacht. That's the currency. I know that. I'm not going to go to that pub and mouth off But if I'm even overheard sharing, there's loads of Mark Thatcher types around here, and there will be. They will actually be Mark Thatcher types who've earned, plenty of them, who've earned their £1 million boat. I used to work for these people, and they're so charmy. But no, they've earned their £1 million for the boat, selling munitions or brokering munitions to some African country to suppress the people so as is it Mali? Mali, there's instability. There will be British businessmen getting involved in the instability of Mali because it has, or more likely in this case actually French businessmen, because it has a quarter of the world's reserves of uranium. And the French and they have influence in Africa from colonial times, and they have many nuclear reactors, so they need uranium. There will be, I mean, if we were in Cannes here, or if we were in some cooler place, not so gauche, not so quite so new money, there will be little places, Saint-Tropez, little backwaters where they have their image perfectly. They're charming, sweet, probably even listen to rock music, possibly even smoke a bit of dope. Some of them will even have dreadlocks. But up at night, they're brokering arms into Mali so that the powers there who they have in their pocket can oppress the people so that big money still has access to that uranium today. I get it. This is totally and utterly this Thatcherite dream region. Not even picking on one place. And I get it. Somebody who's they know this. They say this people, not me, I don't consider myself English, should be in The Hague. They're frightened of the person who agrees with them, because if that conversation was had in that local pub and then she was left alone here over time, unable to keep that relationship going, she's an island again without anybody who's going to stand up for her, because you need several people to stand up properly over time. If such viewpoints are expressed round here, the majority round here will be, we don't really want to employ that person working on our land. We don't really want those kinds of people here. Oh, they'll all even say they've read the odd John Pilger book, but that was when they were kids. That's student politics. No, it's not. It's fucking reality. People dying today because of British broker class selling on arms and other oppressive technology. Of course, it's all high-tech. They'll be selling the Pegasus system to Mali from places like this. It's not in London anymore. London's too dirty and noisy and whatever. No. So that's all. That's defined the last 9 months of my life. Simple as that. I get it. I understand. And the only way that if one has, well, they're not maverick viewpoints, Britain should be in The Hague. They're actually truths, although they're out of kilter with the reality of Britain, which is it's totally Thatcherite. 1000% Thatcherite. That's all. So that person needs to feel they're secure with one or two people if they're going to express their reality around and about. Simple as that. And nobody feels secure in Britain, because British don't need to know how to do relationships anymore.